Hello, and welcome to today's stream. If you're watching this is on GitHub's either Twitch, YouTube, or LinkedIn. And basically, we are here to talk to you about a new program that we launched called GitHub Octernships. We're going to hear from a couple of people, including the director of education at GitHub, someone who's already experienced Octernships, and then also some of our partners as well who are hiring for Octernships. I'm really excited for this stream in particular because I felt like doing internships played such a huge role in my own career. It gave me a lot of good experience, and I know the economy is a little bit rough worldwide, so I'm excited to help give people more opportunity. But without further ado, I would love to have our director of education introduce themselves. Please tell us, I was going to say tell us your role, but I guess you can explain it a little bit more. Give us your name and what you do.
That's great. Thank you, Rizal, and thank you everybody for being on the stream. Really awesome to see how many people are on. My name is Per Hammer. I'm based in Scotland, in Glasgow. Today, I'm coming to you live from Toronto, Canada, where I'm here for the SIGC conference on computing science education. So I'm really excited to be attending that for the next few days here in Toronto. My role at GitHub is the Senior Director for Education, which means that I'm ultimately responsible for all of the developer platforms that we build for education and all of the programs that we do for education, including Octernships. I've only been enrolled for 3 months. I'm still finding my feet. I've had a really awesome time and a really great introduction to the team and all the fantastic programs and products that we have. And I'm really excited to be here today to talk more about Octernships in particular and let everybody know what we're doing in that space.
Awesome. I'm really excited to continue to see the impact you've made in such a short time. And it's also really good to meet you because I don't think we've ever actually seen each other, even though we're not in person. I don't think I've ever seen you. So I wanted to actually just get into the main question here because we already have people that joined in and they're super excited. What are GitHub Octernships? If you could summarize it, please.
It's difficult to come up with a quick soundbite to summarize Octernships, but basically it's this. It's like a regular internship. So you get paid to work on a real world project. You gain hands-on experience with real work, and you get meaningful mentorship from industry experts, just like you would in a regular internship. But Octernships do more than that. So first of all, they're fully remote, so you can be an Octern from wherever you are. You don't have to go and travel to where the partner is that you are Octerning with. You'll be able to engage with companies all around the world. And also you'll be able to connect with potential employers from our curated list of registered partners. And we're updating that list continuously, so we keep adding new partners and new opportunities to the Octernship list. So we'll continue to grow that list and all of those opportunities in the months ahead.
Awesome. That was a great description. People are already like, how do I apply? How do I apply? Before we talk about how do you apply, let's just quickly talk about who's eligible to sign up for an Octernship.
Yeah, cool. So right now, you have to be enrolled in an institution that's recognized by GitHub Education. And you need to have the eligibility to work in one of the 10 countries that we've launched in so far. And right now that is India, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Thailand, Mexico, Nigeria, and Colombia. Those are the 10 countries that we're launching in. We're hoping to add more countries to that list as we go, and we'll be announcing them on the education.github.com website as and when we do. You need to be a verified student on GitHub Global Campus. And you need to be an active contributor on GitHub as well. So we look at your contribution graph, for instance, to see if you're active on GitHub. So not only do you need to be a verified student, you have to be actually active on the GitHub platform and making either contributions, responding or opening issues, and being participating in discussions. All of those things count as being active on GitHub.
Awesome. I see a couple people that are excited that it's being offered in India and some other more global countries. I'm excited about that, as well as I know a lot of things tend to be US centric. Somebody asked, is this a paid internship? I do want to emphasize, yes, it is. It is a paid internship. And if you wanted to remember some of the qualifications that Pierre just mentioned, go ahead to the link that I just put on the screen. So basically education.github.com/students/octernships, just to double check that, yes, it does serve, or you do reside in the country or have a work permit for that country. You're, I believe you said 18 plus, and then you're a verified student and you've been contributing to open source. Let me see, maybe I should ask about one more question and then switch over to our next guest. um I am curious, is this opportunity for, or maybe two more questions, is this opportunity for developers only?
No, it is not for developers only. So the opportunities are dependent on the partnerships that we make and the offerings that they sign up for, but they're by no means limited to developers only. So there will be projects on Octernships that go into design, they go into documentation, they go into all sorts of technical writing, all of those things. So you don't necessarily have to be a developer to be a participant in an Octernship. I think realistically, the opportunities will tend to skew towards more software development opportunities than the other ones. But we at GitHub, we are not restricting them in any way. So there will be lots of documentation and design opportunities there as well, which can be a great sort of first step into the world of software engineering or product management or technical writing or all of those things. So no, definitely not only for software developers.
Awesome. Love to see it, especially since it's not just code contributions that help to keep a project going. You do need PMs, you do need technical writers. So I do think that experience is good, but it does make sense that it would lean more on the side of software engineering opportunities, because that's what tends to happen naturally. Again, just reiterating, so how do we see what schools are eligible? You just have to be enrolled in a college, but if you go to education.github.com/students/octernships, you will see which countries are eligible. Just my last question for you is, like, how do folks sign up?
As you just said, education.github.com. That's what we call Global Campus. That's where all of our opportunities are. Specifically for the Octernships, they're at /students/Octernships. And I see you very helpfully put the card on the screen for everybody to take that down right now. But all you need to remember really is education.github.com, and you can navigate from there to find the Octernships link itself.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all, if you missed that, you can always rewatch this stream to remind you about anything that we just said. But I think we reiterated a lot of great parts. Thank you, Pear, for chatting with us. I hope you have a great time in Toronto, Canada. I'm going to put you backstage and I'm going to bring up Vipul and Christy right now if they're ready. Just a heads up, y'all. All right, cool. Hey y'all. How are y'all today?
Very fine.
Awesome.
Doing
Great.
great, Rizal. Really excited to be here.
Great. I'm excited to have y'all here. Would you mind? So we just talked to the director of education at GitHub. Would you mind just introducing yourselves and then what you do and how it's related to Octernships at all? And I don't know what order do we want to go in? Do we want to do like Christy first and Vipul? I don't know. Sound good? Okay, let's do
Okay,
Chris.
I'll go first. Yeah. So, hey everyone, I'm Christy Jacob, one of the engineering leads at Appright. So, at Appright, my team is responsible for handling the storage API, the functions API, as well as all of our SDKs that Appright maintains. Recently, we're also dealing with the Appright Cloud and all the infrastructure that surrounds the Appright Cloud. So, if you haven't heard of Appright already, Appright is an open source backend server that helps you build mobile, web, and all kinds of applications. And Appright comes with all of those technologies and all of those services that you would typically need when you're building an application like authentication, databases, storage, functions, and so on. So it all comes wrapped neatly in a nice box with all these APIs. So it's really easy to set up, and it's completely open source. And that's one of the that's also how we got in touch with GitHub, and we got introduced to the program. Appright is hosted on GitHub.
Awesome.
Thank you, Christy. Hi, everyone. My name is Vipul. I lead engineering team at Lambda Test as the senior vice president of engineering. Me and my team are building a intelligent omni-channel digital experience testing platform that helps developers and testers ship their code faster with higher quality. Right. So think of us as a text execution and orchestration backbone for leading global digital businesses. To put it simple, like digital experience testing is the difference between a great user experience and a subpar one in other terms. It directly impacts sales, it impacts branding, image. That's how crucial testing is. At Lambda Test, we are building and designing a test intelligence layer to help organization in making their decisions faster and better.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the introductions and explaining what your companies do. And then also to the audience, just for clarity and to reiterate, both Appright and Lambda Test are partners with GitHub Octernships. So you could potentially land an Octernship with one of these companies or another organization that also signs up. So my questions to y'all are just like, why are you personally excited to bring on a GitHub Octern? Why did your company sign up for this? What impact do you hope for this to have? Like, you don't have to answer all questions. They're all basically the same thing. But yeah, answer why sign up from your point of view.
Okay, maybe I can
Um,
share some insights first.
Yeah,
sure.
let's keep the
Okay.
order of Christy then Vipul. That way we know who goes first.
There's
All
no
right.
confusion.
All right. Awesome. So I think one of the main reasons why we're excited about getting interns on board is that interns they're usually really excited and highly motivated, and they are full of enthusiasm, and they're usually driven by this, and they have a strong desire to finish the task that they picked up, and that's actually a dream for any kind of company, right? And getting this, an intern is like a perfect employee because they are super driven, super motivated, and yeah, they work really well with the team, and they understand the team dynamics, and they're really open to collaboration and working really hard. Also, you get to learn, as from the employer side, you get to learn a lot from them as well. During the course of their project, they always almost always bring up some interesting ideas and different approaches to solving problems that we were originally unaware of, right? And interacting with them during our conversations, our sync ups, and other mentorship discussions, we get to hear really interesting perspectives from them. And also, when you're in a company and you're disconnected from academia for a couple of years, right? So when you interact with interns, you also get a lot of interesting insights on what's going on in academia. For example, you learn about what are the new algorithms or state of the art algorithms in place in machine learning and AI and those kind of things, and you get to have these really engaging conversations with them, which is really a plus. So for me, it's a win-win for both the candidate as well as the employer.
I love that. I never even thought about that perspective. It's true that you can learn a lot from an intern. So I love that you're like, I like to bring them on because I'll learn from them, or the company will learn from them as well. What about you, Vipul?
I mostly agree with Christy. Like internship provides an opportunity for interns to learn from our experienced engineer and gain practical experience in real world problems, right? And this helps them to develop technical skills and gain valuable experience and knowledge working in a team environment. and at the same time, interns they offer a fresh perspective and innovative ideas to the team. They bring with their unique background, unique skill set that can help us diversify our thinking, problem solving approach, increase our productivity, and achieve more ambitious goals. Right? This can help us take on some new challenges and push the boundaries of what is possible. We welcome the opportunity to provide a valuable learning experience for future engineers who will be benefiting from their unique perspective and contributions.
I love that both of y'all are saying like we're bringing in unique perspective. We're gonna value those perspectives. I love that because some companies will be like, "Oh, you're junior, so you just follow us." But I love that you're like, "No, we want to hear your ideas and bring like incorporate those ideas in." And then of course, what you all also said about like it's just helping you gain real world experience. Getting an internship as a software engineer was really helpful to me because then I got to see like how are people interacting, how do you use Git, and like little soft skills there, then how stand-ups work. Because I think before I became a software engineer I was like I just can't really imagine what I would be doing. So this is great. What type of projects do you think participants can look forward to working on when they join your octernship?
So specifically at Appright, last year when we participated for the first time, our projects were more focused on the engineering side of things. And this year, as there's a larger focus on other disciplines as well, and we wanted to be more inclusive, we have tasks around developer relations as well as design, in addition to the engineering tasks as well. So, for example, on the design side of things, one of the tasks is to redesign the Appright documentation. So documentation, is a very important aspect for any kind of software or developer centric company, because it's one of those first touch points that developers get to you, before when they interact with your product. So, and a good design for documentation is really important. So our design is currently, our documentation design is currently under rework. So we want the extra or the GitHub Octerns who come in to help us redesign that. And we have actually specified the specific things that we're looking for. For example, we want a redesign of the navigation, we want a redesign of the search, we want a redesign of the actual content of the page itself. For example, how the code is rendered, how the different API endpoints are showcased, and those kind of things. On the developer relations side of things, we have, our main objective is to understand, for any developer relations engineer, the main objective is to be able to communicate a specific product to the developer audience, right? So keeping that in mind, one of our tasks this time around is to be able to create a YouTube video series demonstrating how you can build a simple to-do application with Flutter and Appright. So again, the expectations of the task are clearly outlined in the README and the description. So the idea is, for you to be able to explain how you would to, somebody who's like just 5 years old, or to all sorts of developer audiences. And yeah, that's one of the developer relations tasks. On engineering side, we have tasks for like new database adapters, as well as UI helpers for different frameworks like your Svelte or Flutter or iOS and Android. So this is gonna make development easier and give users a boilerplate for quickly building UI and other kind of components for their applications.
That is awesome. Excited to hear that you also have DevRel opportunities for folks because those are rare. What about you, Vipul?
Sure. So one of the Lambda test major product component is analytics and insight into test execution. So our customers run more than 10 million tests in a month, and then we want to provide a interface where users can analyze and see the bottleneck in their test. They can basically generate the graph. So we deal with huge amount of test metadata. It could be up to like 100 terabyte in a day, right? So we want to build a analytics engine based on the data that we have generated out of test execution, and we want to provide a capability in the hand of our users so that they can generate different kind of graphs and run different kind of searches on the metadata that test generates, so that they can understand various aspects of test execution. So in this internship, interns get a chance to work closely with our engineering team and product team, and get to do both the engineering and documentation part of the process. And intern will get a chance to become a game changer for more than 2 million plus users across 130 plus country.
This is good. This is a lot of good, valuable experience for folks. Um, okay, so I have another question. I've had I've had a lot of internships, and some of them I haven't had good mentorship. So I wasn't really set up for success. They just had me join, and then I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing here. So I'm curious, what support do you have in place for this internship to succeed? Maybe it's mentorship, maybe it's good documentation or something, but I'm just curious.
So one of the first things that we're doing is we are restricting the number of students that we intake. That is going to allow us to focus better on the students that are actually selected. And one of the first things that we do or don't do actually is we don't make any distinction between an intern or a full-time employee at Appright. And an intern is subjected to the same kind of training that any regular Appright employee would undergo. And once selected, each intern would go through 2 to 4 weeks of onboarding. And during this time, they would get an opportunity to interact with various team members, with different team leads, and also understand the company vision, as well as interact with their mentor and get more familiar with their project. Once that is done, the student and the mentor will work together to build their milestones, to identify the key milestones and deliverables, as well as work on a schedule to accomplish those milestones. Apart from that, there's going to be like daily updates. Because we are a completely remote company, we don't have a stand up. However, we do share daily updates asynchronously, and that's an opportunity for the mentor to understand on a daily basis what the intern has been able to accomplish, if they're stuck on anything, understand any blockers and stuff like that. And apart from that, there's also scheduled weekly meetings with their mentor to for a more personal and direct interaction. And beyond all this, the intern can anytime ping anybody from the team to get some support. And because we already did this last year, we kind of improved upon the process, and now we have a good framework to be able to provide the best guidance for the interns that come.
Awesome. That's really great to hear that you have those supports in place. What about Vipul? What might support look like at Lambda?
Sure. So we provide our interns with dedicated mentorship and training to help them develop their technical skills, and ensure that they have a thorough understanding of our process and best practices. Interns are paired with experienced engineer who serve as their mentor throughout the internship. The mentors provide guidance, support, feedback, and is available all the time to answer any question that interns may have. Uh, Mentor also provide regular check-ins to ensure that interns are on the track and they are meeting their goals. Furthermore, we also foster a very supportive and collaborative work environment that encourages open communication and teamwork. Our interns are welcomed into engineering community and are encouraged to participate in team meetings, brainstorming session, and other team building activities. Overall, we are very much committed to setting up our interns for success and providing them a valuable learning experience.
That sounds great. It sounds like you're setting them up to also have psychological safety at the company as well. Thank you so much, Christy and Vipul. I will switch over to chatting with Pratik, and then I'll bring you all back up in the end because we do have a couple of questions from the audience, and I'm really surprised on how well we're doing with time. So thank you, guests, for having like concrete but like not too long answers. We're doing pretty good. All right, gonna switch y'all out. Thank you. All right, hey Pratik, how are you doing?
Hi, Rizal, I'm good.
Awesome. Okay, so my understanding is that you did the pilot program in the past. So you did an octernship. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know where you interned at?
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Pratik Singh. I'm currently a final year student of engineering. Currently, I'm interning at Mercari, Japan. At GitHub, the pilot program that Rizal was mentioning, I was interning at a company known as Litmus Kiosk.
Awesome. So two internships in a row. I didn't realize that. Look at you. So, I'm curious, what was the most rewarding part of interning at an open source company for you?
Right. So, Rizal, that's actually a two-part answer that I would like to give at this point. So, first of all, it would be working at an open source company. The first thing that you get is, whatever you build at, that's out in public. So, even if you are not working at the company right now, you still can contribute. You can still can look at your code and the process that is going on the product, right? So, that's one thing that was very much rewarding to me. Right. Next thing that was very much good for me as a because I'm a person who is into DevOps. So as a fresher, not a lot of people you generally meet in the tech community as in DevOps. So over that in that community, I met a lot of people with SRE who were working at not only in my country but different countries, and I got the chance to interact with them. So that was a very good experience for me.
I love that. Yes. As like I feel like working in open source is such a good way to learn from others. You're like, "Oh, what experience do you have and skill?" And like you said, they're from all over and have all these varied experiences. So I really love that. What's one cool thing that you ended up building or contributing to during your internship?
So during my internship, I did a little bit of work on the documentation or the front end side. So I would like to introduce to the public that what Litmus Kiosk does. So Litmus Kiosk is a kiosk tool that brings chaos into the Kubernetes cluster that the companies uses, right? So that's what Litmus Kiosk do. Over there, what my work looked like was during the chaos experiments, when the chaos is happening. So I wrote down a microservice that went down and bring every event that was happening on live onto a dashboard. So that's what my part was. But yeah, that's overall.
That's awesome. That sounds like a lot to do as an intern. Great job. Um,
Thank you.
my so since you did such an awesome job at an internship and now you're getting experience at another internship, do you have any advice for folks on like what to do once they land their role? Like what helped you to do well and succeed in these roles?
Okay, so first of all, anyone who is watching or listening to this right now, and you have got into an internship or you will eventually get into an internship, the starting at the beginning, there are a lot of moving parts in any company, whether it be an open source, private, does not matter. There are a lot of moving parts, and honestly, it might get overwhelming. So don't get scared about it. It's totally natural that when you enter into an internship, don't bring that baggage onto your head that I have to outperform at the first day itself. That's going to take time, and it's all right. Even the mentors and the seniors know that. Right. So first thing that you have to take your time, you have to listen to your seniors and then work your way up. Next thing that because of open source, I got into one thing is that I really got into reading documentations. So whichever company or whichever place you're working for, just keep in mind that keep on asking about the documentation, the docs, or anything that they can provide for you to read. The reason why I say this is because when you get at something and you have you have read through the documentations, you can write the actual right questions to your senior. So it's saving the time for both of the person. It's saving your time as well as your mentor's time. So next advice is this that you should research about the questions before asking.
I loved both. I think that though that advice is good for internships, but also like regular full-time jobs. Don't rush it. Like you're gonna take your time to learn. Whether it's slow or quickly, it like let yourself just get fully immersed in that process. I love that. And then also, yeah, read the documentation, research your question, and then ask. Not saying it's not good to ask questions, definitely do that, but a lot of the times that documentation kind of serves as like a frequently asked questions like place for you, so you'll be able to find the answer first maybe and then ask somebody or ask something with more in a more informed way. That was really good advice. um So my next question for you, and this is maybe more personal. What are you gonna do next after these internships? What are you looking forward to?
That's a real thinker, to be honest. But yeah, so as of now, as I'm about to complete my college, I'm looking forward to, get a job. And once I'm converted to a full-time employee, that's on the personal level that I want to do that. And there is a lot of things in the software industry that I believe I still have to learn. It's not only about DevOps, it's also about FinOps, how to save money, save cost. You see, there is a problem that as a developer we just think about code, but when you become an employee, you also have to think about that whatever I'm building, is it going to benefit the business or not? So those things I still have to learn, and I'm trying to do that. Other than my personal aspects, I still want to be active on my communities that I am, whether it's in my college or whether it's in my city. And I like to promote a lot of more folks and encourage a lot of more folks to get started with open source, because I know that personally, in the starting it's a little bit fear and things comes up. So I try to be more active and help a lot of more folks.
That's awesome. And yeah, I myself was pretty scared in just joining open source at first. I do want to highlight two awesome comments that said they got a lot of great insights from you while you were speaking. Someone said great points, Pratik. So if other guests are ready, I think we're at the point of like I'll bring you all up to the stage and we can just answer a couple of questions from the Q&A. Um and then we will end after that. I'm really surprised at how quickly we answered these questions. I thought, wow, we're going to take forever. I wrote a lot, but we did great on time. All right. Some of these are a lot of like repetitive questions, so hopefully we can answer some of these. I think I might answer some of them, and if I don't know the answer, I'll lean on y'all. Somebody said, is this paid? Yes, these are paid internships. Confirm yes or no, y'all paid. Cool.
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
are paid. They are paid. um Somebody else. This question's a little hard to answer, but maybe we might have advice. Someone said I have two GitHub accounts, one that's connected with my school email and one that isn't. The one that isn't like linked is more active. What can I do about it? Hmm. Should they reach out to our support team? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I'll take that one, Russell. The best thing you can do there is to just raise a question in a support channel. It'll come to our student community support, and they'll deal with that. They are phenomenal people. They have lots of answers, and they are super helpful. So if you just raise the question there, they'll be able to walk you through what you can do in order to fix that problem.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, I think that's good advice. There's another question of, is there an age limit?
There is an age limit. You have to be 18 or over, but there is no upper limit. You can be as old as you like.
Yes. As long as you're enrolled in college, we recognize that like you can be 40 years old or whatever age and be enrolled in college. So cool. Someone said, are there any openings for DevRel? I'll put that for Christy.
Yes, there is. So there are two specific tasks that we have open on AppWrite this time around. So one is both are YouTube video tasks. However, one of them is around building a to-do application with Flutter and AppWrite, and the other one is building a notes application with Node.js, AppWrite, and a platform called Mealy Search, which allows you to index your documents and perform searches really effectively. So both of these tasks involve making a video about how you would set up all these different technologies and how you would build this application. And based on the criteria that we have, we're going to decide the best one and select the students accordingly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sorry, just to follow up on that as well. So those are obviously some opportunities that are posted right now for AppWrite, but we will be adding more partners, and also the existing partners will be adding more opportunities over the weeks and months ahead. So even if there isn't something on Octernship right now that is suitable or interesting to people listening and watching this, please keep checking back, and we'll be posting more opportunities over the weeks to come.
Awesome. Those were great answers. Let's see. Someone asked, are bootcamp students eligible?
Great question. At the moment, I don't think they are, but we're working on trying to make sure that we can also include bootcamp students in future for Octernships. So right now, you need to be in a college or university that we recognize, but we are hoping to also support bootcamps in the future.
Awesome. Let me just double check. Oh, got a bit of a clarification from Lara as well. If the boot camp is part of the GitHub campus program, then yes, you are eligible. I think there's more programs for boot camp students as well. There's something called program equity that GitHub does that allows you to at least get like open source mentorship and opportunity to contribute to open source. I also want to say thank you to, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, Tone Lopez. You've been posting the link in the chat for folks. Unfortunately, I don't have those abilities. If I post a link in the chat, it'll just have a bunch of stars. So really appreciate that you did that. Let me pull up a few more questions. Sorry if these are repetitive, y'all. I just want to make sure people get the information that they need. Someone said, I have a low contribution in GitHub for which I'm not able to participate. What should I do? Do any of y'all have advice? I wish there was like a hand raise thing.
I'm just waiting for someone to provide the obvious answer, which is contribute more.
Right. You don't have to wait. I don't think the Octernships are going away. There'll be more opportunities. So start contributing now, build up that presence, and then once you feel like, yeah, I got some contributions on here, then you can go over to GitHub Octernships and apply. Let me double check. Yep, cool. Someone asked if I could share this in a PDF. Okay, so all of this information is on the website education.github.com/students/octernships. So I don't need to share a PDF because you can just go to this link and it will tell you about like the eligibility, how to apply, etc., etc. Oh, and I believe we're sharing it on GitHub Docs as well. Did not know that. That's awesome. And let's see. Someone asked how many Octerns will be selected per project. Case by case basis, I guess.
Yep. It depends on the specific project. So in our case, we have one of the tasks about the UI libraries, and the task is open to web, Flutter, iOS, and Android developers. So potentially, if we get 4 different applications from each of those categories, we could have 4 different students working on that one specific project. So it depends on the project itself.
And the flip side of that is you can apply for up to 4 Octernships simultaneously, and you can participate in up to 2 at the same time.
Ooh. I did not know you could participate in 2 at the same time. That's awesome. Someone said how long
I
are
would
these? Oh, go ahead.
just last adding on to the last point. So at my time, I applied for 3 of the projects, and I got into one of those. So as the person said that the limit is 4, so definitely go ahead and apply in as many as possible.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good advice. I agree. Make sure make sure you open your opportunities and see which one will accept you. There was a question that what was it? I forget. Like the chat moved.
So I see one just now, Russell. Odie asked if it says there's only 12 positions at the moment, and none of them are in languages or things that they're interested in. So just to reiterate, we will be onboarding more partners as we go, and new and existing partners will create new opportunities and new offerings for Octernships as we go as well. So although there's only 12 at the moment, we will keep adding them over the coming weeks and months.
Awesome. And then someone asked, how long will these be available? I'm assuming maybe forever? Not this particular positions, but the opportunity to do octernships.
Yeah, so we've only just started them, so the individual opportunities run for as long as the partners want to run each individual opportunity. But our intention is to maintain the program for a long time and keep, as I said, keep adding partners and opportunities to that program.
Awesome. And there's actually, I don't think I've seen anyone ask this, but I guess I would be curious about like, is there an interview process after you apply, and what could people expect?
So I can share a small example. So usually, once the students have completed the tasks or the preliminary tasks, we have a good grasp or good understanding of their engineering capabilities. So usually we would skip those technical rounds and go ahead with more of a culture fit, or getting to know the candidate kind of a round, so that we understand, so the expectations are aligned between the candidate as well as the company, and then we go ahead to make a decision. So the process thereafter would be pretty seamless.
Awesome. And
Right.
go
So,
ahead.
so in my case, yes, we will be talking to the student who will be applying, and then it will be like very basic technical skills assessment kind of round where we will see the kind of um, technical level and the skill set that candidate has, and does it align with the technical set that we need. Mainly, it will be like backend programming. Little bit, you should know how to develop the front end, and do you have any kind of experience in AI/ML? So there will be very small, I would say, assessment, and based on that, we will hire the intern.
Awesome.
Uh,
Perfect.
I
So
would like to just add on a little bit on that is that every project will have its own process. But at an overall, if I have to say that if you clear the preliminary task, if you are called upon to the interview, being a past alum of this program, I would definitely say that if you have done the preliminary task, this interview won't be that much of a difficulty, because at this level, all the mentors and the seniors are just interested in looking at the task that you completed. Is it done by you or not, or the things that you are saying in your proposal or in your project, you have done it yourself or not. So make sure of that, and after that, I don't think that this interview won't be a bigger problem for you.
that's good advice. That was great advice, y'all. So, it doesn't sound like a super difficult interview process to me from both sides. This is an interesting question. I thought someone said once you apply to a project, is there like a way to interact with fellows participating in the same project?
In my case, unfortunately, it will not be.
That's okay.
Uh, I would definitely say this, that communicating with other fellows is not a difficulty, because even if there is not an official position to do it, you can obviously always talk to people over at Twitter or LinkedIn. That's always an option available. I have met one of a very good friend of mine due to this platform and this program itself, and she was also trying to contribute into the same project, and I also were trying, and we started to talk on Discord or Twitter. So that's not a problem. If you are looking for fellows or developers who are interested in the same things as you, there's always opportunities outside.
Awesome. So even if you're the company didn't set you up to connect with each other, you can. And then I also see a couple of messages from Laura, who's our program manager for GitHub Octernships. She wanted y'all to know that projects will last from about 1 to 6 months each, and all Octerns will be able to communicate with each other using Discord from different companies and projects as well. So I guess we have something set up for Octerns to be able to interact with each other. I love that. Okay. I think there are a lot of like similar questions over and over again. So I don't want to keep bringing them up. I think if you still have questions, rewatch this stream. It will definitely answer the questions you have. And if you have more beyond that, I think reaching out to support, because some of these are a little like specific on like, hey, like I don't know if and these are good questions though, but we might not be able to answer each one on stream. Like the one on like my account, I have a student one and a regular one, and I want to be able to connect those. So thank you so much to y'all. Someone said, "Is the student developer for pack and necessary for this internship?" And they're asking it a lot. But basically, I think that's like the opportunity that you get. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. You get the student developer pack once you're a verified student, so that like comes with that, like it's a benefit in addition to getting the or opportunity to get an octernship. Um okay, I think, wait, let me see. Does the octernship mention expected time commitment, or will it be different for each? I think it'll be different for each. It'll be 1 month to 6 months, varying for per project. But just so y'all can get an understanding, just to repeat or summarize everything that we've done, we are launching this thing called GitHub Octernships. We basically have partner companies saying, "Hey, we're open source. We would like to bring in an intern, and we have these different roles opening." Or opened, and they all have like slightly different requirements, slightly different deadlines, or slightly different like project lengths. So you're just gonna have to sign up once if you're verified as a student, if you're eligible, like you're over 18, and if you live in one of those eligible countries, and you'll be able to see more details. Um, let's see. Oh, Laura said, well, oh, that is a good question. I actually was thinking of this one, and I didn't highlight it. Someone said, "Is there a chance for a candidate to get hired after?" I want to end on that question, I guess. And I think it might be great to hear from Christy, from Appright, since maybe they.
Yep. That's a great question. Thank you. So, yes, so during our previous cohort, we did manage to hire one of the interns who later joined as a software engineer. And she's been working really well because at that point, when you've already worked with the company for about 4 months, you're really familiar with the company's workflows and all the team dynamics. So, it's really, really easy to convert them to a full time employee as long as they are willing to and they can commit to it. So, yes, getting hired after the octernship is a very high possibility, and you just need to do your best and the company will take care of the rest.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that y'all hired someone full time. And I will also say, y'all, it's okay if you don't get hired after your internship. Like I said, I've done a lot of internships. Some of them they didn't extend the offer, some of them they did. But regardless, it was still experience that I could bring to another company and say, "Hey, I've done this before. Can I get hired here?" Sometimes it's not personal. Maybe they just don't have an opening, or the finances or whatever. I'm just gonna ask you all. Someone said, "What's the earlier name of this program?" GitHub Octernships. I'm gonna ask you all one last question. It's just a fun question to end on. If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? And we can. I hope you all can see the same order. We can talk from like Pratik, Pear, Vipul, and then Christy.
If I have to choose one food that I could eat throughout my life, it would be Meghna's biryani.
It would be what? Sorry.
It's a cuisine, Indian cuisine known as biryani. So yeah,
Ooh, that sounds good. Okay, what about you, Pear?
My wife would expect me to say pizza, but the real answer is pakora.
Ooh, I never had that. Now I have to Google what picor is. Okay, and then what about Vipul? What would you eat?
I would love to have gulab jamun. It's a dessert, sweet desserts in India.
Nice. I feel like I'm learning about a lot of new foods. And then Christy, what about you?
Again, it's something special in India. It's called a masala dosa that you find in South India. It can be had as breakfast, lunch, dinner, or whatever you want. So that's something that I would eat any day.
Nice. Everybody all nodded when you said yours, so it must be super good. Um, for me, I'll say mine. I will eat roti, but like it's not the same as Indian roti though. I'm Guyanese, and the roti is a little bit different. It's more, um, I don't know how to describe it, but it's not. It has like split peas inside of it, and they're like ground up. But thank you so much, y'all, for joining. I know sitting on a stream and having your camera on can be sometimes a little energy draining, so I appreciate that you came on and You sat here and then you also took the time to explain like how people can get into these octernships and gave really awesome advice. Also, thank you to like the people in the audience for joining in and being really excited. I love to see people excited about like pursuing their careers in tech. So I hope this was helpful for y'all. And oh, thanks for Laura as well in the background helping to answer questions. But that will be it for now. Bye everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.